Self-worth, by definition, is knowing your own value without having to earn it or prove it. It's your host, Angelina, here to guide you on the worthy journey where you finally stop seeking validation and start owning your power. Ready to level up? Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome back to The Worthy Journey, and thank you so much for tuning in today. I know there's a million things you could have done with your time, and the fact that you're here means everything to me. This episode is a powerful one. Today we're talking about something I know you felt before because I felt it too, that frustrating cycle of wanting more for your life but not taking action. You just keep waiting for the right time, the right energy, or the right version of you to finally get started. But what if the real reason you feel stuck has nothing to do with motivation or laziness, and everything to do with false beliefs and fear? By the end of this episode, you'll understand what's really going on beneath procrastination and self-sabotage. You'll learn how fear disguises itself as perfection or just being tired. And most importantly, you'll walk away with powerful tools to start taking action, overcome fear, and stop holding yourself back. So stick with me until the end because I'm sharing my most transformative coaching tools that I use with my clients to take action, even if you still feel scared. Now, before we dive in, I would love to hear from you. If there's a topic you want guidance on or a question you'd want me to explore in a future episode, you can comment below or message me on any of my socials at The Self-Worthy Coach. I truly love hearing from all of you, and I respond to everyone because this podcast is made for you. While you're here, please subscribe to this channel so you don't miss the next episode. And if this resonates with you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. We're all on this worthy journey together. Let's get into it. Let's talk about what's really going on when you keep putting things off. We all have dreams, desires, goals we want to chase, but somewhere in between intention and action, things get stuck. We tell ourselves, I'll start tomorrow, or once I have more time, or once I feel ready, or whatever life has in store for me, I'll accept. But here's the thing, if you keep saying you're going to start tomorrow, then tomorrow is just going to bring the same excuse and the same inaction. Tomorrow becomes the next day, next week, next month, next year, and you get the idea. But I'm going to hold your hand when I tell you this. No one is coming to do it for you. If you wait and see what life has in store for you, you might end up waiting a lifetime and will regret not trying to achieve your dreams. And I'm not saying this to call you out or anything like that. That is never my intention. I don't want you to feel guilty or shameful because, trust me, I've been there for years. And I say this because I want you to know that you're not lazy or undisciplined. You just might not know what's going on underneath the surface. Let me explain. The law of Parkinson's is the idea that the amount of time you have to do something is the amount of time that it will take to do it. Meaning, if you have a week to work on something, you will use the entire week to finish it, even if it's a small task. Versus if you had 2 hours to complete that same thing, it would only take you 2 hours. With this in mind, what happens if you don't have a deadline? If you have forever to do something, you might not ever do it. The best piece of advice my dad has ever given to me is procrastination is your worst enemy. To be completely honest with you, I would not be here today speaking to you on this podcast as a certified life coach if it wasn't for that one piece of advice. I was not going to get my coaching certification. I talked myself out of it. I told myself that I'd do it when I'm older or I have more money. But when I was talking to my dad about this, if I should invest this very large amount of money on a coaching certification, he told me, Ange, procrastination can be your worst enemy. There were so many things that me and your mother wanted to do in our life, and we said we would get to it later, and later came and we never got to it. Don't make the same mistake. And that hit me so hard because I realized that my worst fear was, what if I never do it? Never go after my dreams and I'm stuck in the same place that I don't want to be in. Here's the hard truth I want you to hear today. If you do not take action, you will stay exactly where you are. And that's a choice too. So let's talk about why it's so hard to take action in the first place and what to do about it. Here's the answer. Procrastination can be a form of self-sabotage. What is self-sabotage, you might ask? It's when your actions go against your goals. You say you want something, but then your behavior says otherwise. You want to lose weight, but then you keep door dashing pizza at midnight. You might want a healthy relationship, but then you ghost people whenever they get close. Or you want to start a business, but then you spend all your time on TikTok convincing yourself you're not ready yet. Sometimes these behaviors are often unconscious just because they're bad habits. But they prevent us from achieving what we really desire. That is self-sabotage, and it's often passive aggressiveness, but towards ourselves. Let me explain. Passive aggression is when someone has anger or resistance, but doesn't express it directly. They're mad, but they're not going to tell you they're mad. Instead, they're going to show it and hope that you get the hint. So they show it through sarcasm, silent treatment, or maybe making loud noises around the house. Maybe you know someone like this. Now, imagine that you do this to yourself, but it's not loud chaos. Sometimes it's a subtle, I just need to rest first. Let me watch one more video, or I'll do it later. But deep down, that's fear. It might be fear of failing or succeeding, or scared to be seen. And why does this happen? For one of two reasons. Deep down, we don't really want what we say we want, or we do want it, but fear is louder and we have inner conflict. I know this is a complicated topic, so let me give you an example. Imagine you want a promotion at work, but then you're late all the time, missing deadlines, consistently making careless mistakes. Eventually, you end up getting fired. What happened there? Maybe deep down, that job was sucking the soul out of you, but you were too afraid to quit because what if the next job is even worse, or what if I can't find another one? So by showing up late and repeatedly making mistakes, you've unconsciously caused yourself to be fired. It's self-sabotage through passive-aggressive behaviors because you don't want to admit what you really feel and desire. An example of wanting something but fear is holding you back is if you meet your dream partner. They're everything you want in a person, but for whatever reason, you emotionally withdraw from them. You act avoidant towards them by withholding affection or taking hours to respond to their messages. Eventually, they've had enough, and then they break up with you. Why does this happen? Maybe, just maybe, you have a deeply rooted fear of abandonment, intimacy, or commitment, and you might not even be aware of it. So detachment and avoidance is a defense mechanism to keep you safe, but that leads to self-sabotage. You might have these walls up to protect yourself from getting hurt, but the walls that keep you safe are the same ones that imprison you. Listen, your brain has one job, and it's not to keep you happy or successful. It's to keep you safe. And it keeps you safe by making you fearful. This fear often comes from old beliefs we learned earlier in life. So in the past, when a negative event happened to us, something or someone hurt us either physically or emotionally, our brain developed fear-based beliefs to try and protect us from that pain happening again in the future. These beliefs are often unconscious and we're not even aware of them, but their stories shape the way that we see ourselves, the world, and what's possible for us. Some examples are constantly being criticized or judged by others as a kid. That could lead to a false belief of not being good enough, or if parents were divorced or you were abandoned, you could develop the negative belief of, I can't trust anyone, people will always leave, it's safer not to get close. Thing is, these beliefs were probably helpful at one point in your life when you were dependent on others, and it did protect you. But there comes a point where you grow up, you're independent now, and these beliefs are no longer helping you, but instead they're holding you back. Now they're limiting beliefs, and they're actually not true at all. What's going on here is our reward and fear centers of the brain are at a battle against each other. When there's going to be a reward, your brain releases all this dopamine, these happy hormones. It says, oh yay, we're starting a business, I'm so excited. But then your fear system jumps in and says, whoa, wait. What if this goes wrong? What if I fail? What would people think? So to protect you, your brain makes you fearful to keep you in your predictable and your safe comfort zone. It tells you negative beliefs because if you think you're going to fail or you're not good enough or love is going to hurt you, why would you ever go after any of those things? It's like having one foot on the gas and another one on the brake. So you're taking all this action, your foot is on the gas, and then fear kicks in and it stomps on the brakes, and now you self-sabotage all the progress that you just made. This isn't your fault. Don't worry, because I'm going to walk you through tools to shift this, but first, I want to offer you a powerful reframe. The truth is, the only difference between fear and the imagination is that one of them is uncontrolled. You can guess which one. It's fear. Your mind can create the absolute worst case scenarios, but it can just as easily imagine the best case scenario. The future is uncertain either way. How many times have you worried about something and it never ended up happening? Let me guess. Probably a few times a day. So if you can't be 100% sure of the outcome, or if worrying doesn't change the outcome anyway, then why not think optimistically? And when I say optimistically, I don't mean blind positivity. I mean looking at all of your options, hence optimism. Asking yourself, what else could be possible? Instead of what if I fail, ask yourself, what if it works? Or how can I make it work? Trust me when I say this, it is not serving you in any way or doing you any good or getting you any closer to your goals by focusing on negative outcomes. So you might as well think in a more empowering way. Now, as promised, here are the tools on how to do that. How do I get unstuck? Well, you have to get rid of the inner conflicts and those limiting beliefs that I just talked about. I'm going to take you through an exercise. It would be best if you wrote these down. So please take a second to grab a pen and paper or a laptop. Pause this if you need to. Okay, now let's start by thinking of a limiting belief you have about yourself, others, the world, or the future that's limiting your potential. Some of the most common ones I hear are, I'm not good enough, I'm too old or young, I can't trust anyone, all the good ones are taken, I've already tried everything. Those are just some examples. Now ask yourself, why do you think you've developed this belief? Has it served you in any way? Write down your answers. If you really can't think of anything, I'll give you a hint. That belief is trying to keep you safe. So the next question is, what negative impact has this belief caused? What has it already cost you? How has it changed your behavior or your attitude? Take a second to write your answers down. Now, what do you do or feel when you think of this limiting belief, thought, or fear? Pause if you need to. Then ask yourself, is this belief really true? Find evidence to support why it's not true. Maybe there are other people who were in similar circumstances to you and they've achieved what you wanted. You could even research success stories if that helps you. And the last question is probably the most important one. What would be a more positive alternative to this belief? I want you to really feel it and come up with evidence as to why it's true for you. That's the end of this first exercise. But if you want it to really stick, I highly suggest that you do this for any limiting belief you can think of. And then I want you to completely change the negative story of the past that you've been telling yourself and replace it with a new and empowering one. Once you've come up with new positive beliefs, it's essential to remind yourself of them every single day, because consistency and repetition rewire the brain. It creates new habitual ways of thinking. So if you want to see the world in a more positive light, you have to train your brain to think empowering thoughts. Now, I know it can feel ridiculous when you start saying affirmations, like you tell yourself, I'm worthy, I'm confident, I believe in myself, and your brain is like, okay, liar, you cried over a text message and forgot how to parallel park yesterday. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But to overcome this, my favorite way is to say affirmations while doing EFT tapping, which stands for Emotional Freedom Technique. It's a therapy tool used to calm your nervous system, which is the body's stress response, and it makes you more suggestible to believing the affirmations that you're telling yourself. There are many great videos on YouTube to teach you how to do this, but I highly recommend practicing your new affirmations every single day so they really sink in. Now, if you're ever feeling stuck, you can go through the limiting belief exercise again, but if this is something that you're really struggling with and you want help with, I've recently opened a few spots for new clients. If you'd like a free one-on-one coaching session, you can apply by visiting my website, theselfworthycoach.com, or you can click the link in the bio. I'd love to support you on this journey. Now, to close this out, if you've been stuck in procrastination, self-doubt, or fear, now you know why, and more importantly, you know what to do about it. I want you to remember this. There is nothing wrong with you. You are not broken. You're not lazy. You are human. You've just had fear in the driver's seat trying to keep you safe, but that changes today. You get to take the steering wheel back. And listen, fear can still come along for the ride, but it doesn't get to drive. It doesn't even get to touch the aux cord. It can sit quietly in the back while you move forward toward the life that you actually want. Because you don't have to wait to feel fearless. You just have to be brave enough to take the next step with fear in the background. I want you to know that you are capable of so much more than your fear wants you to believe. Every small step you take is proof that you are rewriting your story. Your dreams are valid. Your goals are possible. Trust me, I've seen it with myself and my clients. And the version of you waiting to become is already within you. You're just building the bridge to get to them now. You've got this, and I'm here to cheer you on every step of the way. Thank you again for listening today. I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, stay worthy. Disclaimer, this podcast is for informational and inspirational purposes only and is not a substitute for mental health treatment. Please speak to a licensed professional if you need support. Got it? Good. I'll see you in the next episode.